I think uh, one the thing that's most important to know is that the school you go to doesn't define who you are.
Mm.
That's the most important thing.
So you went to Wheaton,
I did, yeah.
and there's a small school
Uh-huh.
called Yale. Okay, if you had to rank them, 1 and 2, which one would you put on top?
Well, that's a very easy question. Obviously not Wheaton. Yeah. But
So-
anyway, there's your question. Yeah.
So like, you did reject Yale, right?
Yes.
So how did your parents react to that rejection, and what made you like take that leap of faith to just like say like, nah, I'm not going with this like norm to go to the better school, but I'm just gonna focus on
Well-
myself. Like I feel like that's pretty impressive, and a lot of students would like be like want to know how to trust themselves rather than like other people.
I think with many because it's a closer decision. It will be same decision. So rejecting a school like that, going to a small school, and also another decision I had to make that's close to that was rejecting to work in DreamWorks and to going back to China to work.
Mm-hmm,
These are two decisions that are very kind of similar in my life, where you kind of like reject something that's already known and I suppose if I went to DreamWorks to work or if I went to another school at that time, my reputation would be higher than it could be. But it's about I always think of the long game on the long run. How do I develop something that's much longer, and what would be the most logical thing for me to do now?
Mm-hmm.
So then it's the same. These two life choices, it's the same. Like it took me a long time to decide then stuff I can find online of what you can do what you should be doing if you really wanted to make it to be a kind of film composer, video game composer. And one thing that was kind of consistent over the internet is work or learn under someone who's very established. That's much more important than learning in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you learn in the classroom, after you finish, you graduate from the classroom, you're gonna have to do that anyway.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
So then if I'm able to do that when I was an undergrad student, then that would be like my biggest card. Like that's something I can have up my sleeve.
That's pretty good.
So that was the decision set on that. I knew that maybe if I went to another school like Yale or Juilliard or other places, I probably won't be doing this because I probably would want to do that when I went in there, but because there are other things I would learn in there, and I would be kind of introduced to, okay, why don't you do this and this and that, and the program of the school kind of push you in this other direction.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Especially if I went to Juilliard, they would push me in and they would encourage me to go into another direction, be it academia or just kind of touring, writing symphonies. And I love doing that, but also love doing other things. So that was like that point that I considered, and that was the deal breaker for everything. Yeah.
So like, what advice would you give students who are like about to make the decision, or like young composers?
It's a very tough decision. I'll tell
Breaking
you
into
that.
the
Yeah,
scene.
it's a
Yeah.
very tough decision.
I'm sure.
I think the thing that's most important to know is that the school you go to doesn't define who you are.
Mm.
That's the most important thing. I'm not saying going to Yale is bad. Going to Yale is great. And if you got accepted to Yale and if you want to go, please go. But I think more importantly, it's about research on the program, your professors, where they would take you, the resources you get from the school.
Yeah.
And not just because just the name of the school, going to a really big name school, working in a really big name company, that on paper looks really good, and you can like tell your family, and I'm sure like if you do that, your mom will tell all her friends.
Yes.
But that's it, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That's
yeah,
true.
yeah. It's really about who like you could go in there and you could like feel like you're the best person in the world for 4 years, and after you graduate, you're like, okay, what have I actually learned?
Okay.
And then maybe your peers who went to some program that was really catered to them, and then you see them run really far, so think longer, because I mean I've been there too. As a student, you think that's like that's the most important thing, you know, like your reputation, what your peers think of you, what the school thinks of you. You think that's the most important thing, but the world is so much bigger than that. And honestly speaking, like I left this academic environment for so long. No one gives a crap where I went to school. They really only care about your ability, and while your school kind of helps, I guess.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's just about kind of your ability, how good you are in the things you do, and about your integrity and your values as a
Okay.
person. Yeah.